It's Monday. You know what that means. We're back with another live recording of the Client by Client podcast. Welcome in. This is the episode 60 recording. If you're following along today on the podcast, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, we talk about visualization. We talk about what happens when you get away from visualizing your success. It's inevitable. If you're not visualizing your end goals, you will be visualizing failure. You will be experiencing self-doubt. And so I share a very intimate experience I had with my clients, with my private clients over in the Get Clients community. And I brought it to you because there were some reminders for myself and some ones that I think could serve you. So be sure to go and tune into episode 51, out now in Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That said, let's hop in. If it's your first time here, by the way, drop me some ones in the comments. If you're a repeat offender, drop me some emojis. Would love to share my love with all and with everyone. Hey, what's up? Jeremy here from whatupjeremy.com, back with another episode of Client by Client. Thank you so much for tuning in. In the last episode, I shared with you a quote, a mindset, a way of looking at the world and a way of looking at your success that one of my many mentors shared with me. I shared with you the mentor that shared it with me. And I also got deep into the story of how I discovered them, which may actually be the core of the episode. But I shared with you this idea that the universe rewards speed and organization. And I extrapolated for you how I internalize that quote and that mindset. And then I share with you what you can begin to do to turn things around if maybe you've been lacking a little bit of implementation, a little bit of speed, and a little bit of organization energetically with the actions that you're taking, maybe even spiritually. So be sure to backtrack one episode. This is an important one for all of my listeners and for everyone in my community. So be sure to backtrack to episode 59 so you can just understand even more about where I'm coming from this, get a couple reminders for you in your business, and a couple things that you can go off and implement and change right now to maybe change your trajectory and end up exactly where you want to be. In today's episode, I want to share with you 5 books that changed my business, changed my life, and that could stand to do the same for you. Chances are you've heard of maybe a few of these. You've maybe heard me talk about a few of these. I just wanted to share with you a little deeper on these and share a couple that you may not have known have had a big impact on my journey and that might have an impact on yours. And then you can go over to Audible, to your local bookstore, hell, your library, and you can go and check these out for yourself, or you can go and look up the author of these and just surround yourself with their content and with their stuff. And I think that'd be a great start for you as well. Now let's hop in. These are the 5 books that changed my business and my life in no particular order. The first book, the first title that I want to bring to you is from who's become one of my favorite authors. And there are 2 titles from him on this, when in reality, all of his books deserve to be on a top 5 list, if I'm being quite frank with you. And it's an author by the name of Mike Michalowicz. This is not the first book that I read from his, but it led me later to his. And the first book that I want to share with you of his, we're going to share 2, is Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. Isn't it funny how when you get to the end of the toothpaste or when you're running low on toilet paper, how you can magically make that last little bit last you far longer, maybe as long as your entire supply of it had wound up. Can you relate with that? Just thinking through your own personal experience, a little bit personal. We go to Costco around here and we were running a little low on toilet paper. And when I first got into town, I think in March, I got really bad allergies when I got back into Arizona. And so I've had a roll of toilet paper in my bedroom that I used maybe a quarter of. We started running low. We got through our initial supply and we had a conversation about a week ago if we should buy more toilet paper. And I was like, let's wait. Let's just wait. I have a little bit of a roll in my room that we can grab, and there's one more, in the cabinet below. And we went it took us a surprisingly long amount of time for us to get through that supply before we had to go back. We thought we were going to need it, and we waited a whole nother week before we went and got it. And we didn't even need to crack into it, no pun intended, right out the gate. So it's interesting how far you can go with little. And you guys hear me so often berate the many online coaches who like to look really fancy in their business, who like to look like the big box coaches. I share that And I shame those largely because of my own personal experience, chasing the shiny objects, wanting to look the part when not being the part in parts in my journey. And I share that so much now because that should have caused me many epic failures and complete hard stops at certain points in my journey. That for many of you listening to this, it will cause for you to have to go back to your day job, never go back to coaching, never see the realization of your dreams of your online business, of your personal brand, of impacting so many lives. And it's largely because you don't know it until hindsight, but all of these little recurring subscriptions that it takes to run a business, the Zapiers, the Ecamm Lives, the tracking, the analytics, the podcast hosting, the email service providers, all of these things, although each one of them is pretty inexpensive, they stack up very quickly. So you go on adding too many of them, the WordPress hosting, and now you need the SSL certificate so that it doesn't look like you're sending people to a spam or a scam type of website. So you went from internet hosting at $30 a month to also needing $180 a year just to run that SSL. You can do the hosting each month, but the SSL needs to be yearly. Do you want to have private? All of these things, guys, they stack up on you. And you wind up every month never experiencing the profit possible in an online business. When you find a way to act like you're at the end of the toothpaste or at the end of the toilet paper roll, something changes and you magically get so much more out of that little bit. And in Mike Michalowicz, Toilet Paper Entrepreneur, he shares with you the importance of that mindset and how to implement it in your online business. The first title you have to check out if you haven't is The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. Who in the comments, let me know here, we're doing this live on Facebook and on YouTube, who has read any of Mike's stuff or who has read The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. These are ones that I don't hear often mentioned, and the way Mike delivers his ideas to you is unlike any others. He is truly a guy who is himself, who has embraced himself and all of his quirkiness and leads with it. And that's also inspiring for the many of us who look up to others and think we have to be like them, when instead we should do more of the actions that they take, but we should be more of ourselves and not be clones of others. And Mike just does a really good job of exuberating that. The first title that you need to check out is The Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. The second book, couldn't have done this list without it, and I think that you're expecting it, is one title that has made probably the biggest wave in online entrepreneurship in the last 10 years. The book previous to that, man, there are many of them. Maybe it has to be one from like ClickFunnels or even like High Performance Entrepreneur from Brendon Burchard. But this book is $100 million Offers from Alex Hormozi. I can't wait for his next stuff to come out. And I'm so thankful that he went and started with offers before he got into leads and sales. And it's for the same reason why I preach so much, why when you go to my Instagram and you're a member of my Facebook group, you're wanting tips on how to get leads and how to convert on sales and how to do the cool stuff. But the boring, hard, foundational groundwork is where all the money is made, which is your offer. And this is why we talk more about your niche and the pains and problems of your market and these fundamental basics than we do talk about the sales tactics and the lead gen strategies. Because when you get those sales tactics and those lead gen strategies, it's easy to go and replicate those things and to do those things, but then not get the sales call, or to get to the sales call and not get the client. And your prospects aren't stupid. They know the difference between where you're at and someone else's. And they know the difference between someone who is kind of faking it to make it and someone who is actually making it and someone who is doing things. They can smell these things, even if it's subconscious and intuitive. And if not, you know these things. And so you will wind up slipping at one point in it. And so this is why I just think it's so important that you start with your offer, because the reality is that when you have a super juicy offer, right? Commandment number one of successful online coaches is to make juicy offers. When your offer truly is juicy, and it is, and like the title of his book, I have it, it's holding up my laptop right now. The title, I've been rereading this and I've listened to it probably 5 to 10 times, maybe more. Maybe somewhere in between. How to make offers so good people feel stupid saying no. It's easy to say that I have a no-brainer. It's easy to say, make me an offer I can't refuse, and to, feel like a mafioso. But until you really have an offer that is so good that people are dumb for saying no, till you really have that, the lead gen and the sales tactics, they can work and they can get you leads and they can get you sales. But when you have a juicy offer, both of those things become unnecessary or so much easier. So if you have not yet read $100 million offers, I implore you to do that. And if you don't yet have the juicy offer, the offer that makes people stupid for saying no, this book needs to be underneath your pillow every night and with you at every waking moment. And this needs to be something that's marked up, highlighted, underlined, post-it noted, and is completely tore up and beat up, because I promise you that all of the things that you are wanting are hidden behind the boring work of making a super juicy offer. So make the super juicy offer and everything else would just get way easier. So book number 2 is $100 million Offers from Alex Hormozi. Book number 3, this is another Mike Michalowicz. I had this book as the first one I wrote down, and I had to go back and I wanted to kind of rearrange them in a little bit of a different way. But this is the first book I discovered from Mike Michalowicz. And this book has become a pillar, I think, to just the entrepreneurship space, let alone online entrepreneurship and us folks in high ticket and coaching, which is Profit First. He wrote Profit First after 2 other of his books, which was Toilet Paper Entrepreneur. And I think before TPE, he wrote The Pumpkin Plan. Honorable mention. You need to go check it out as well. And you'll know why Mike Michalowicz is so cool when you come across him. Like, I'd recommend the audiobooks for his stuff. And so the third book here I have to recommend is Profit First. And it is the idea of how you pay yourself in business, and that a lot of business owners never experience the fruits of their labors. They experience the paycheck from their business, but they never get to a point where they're ever ahead. And so a lot of online coaches, we make jobs for ourselves and we employ ourselves, but are we really business owners? If you can think back to, and this book should be on here in some rank, it's just more of a financial book of Rich Dad Poor Dad. There is the cash flow quadrants. Most people start out in the top left quadrant, which is employees. And then some of them will go to the quadrant below it, which is they're self-employed. It's just one quadrant below being an employed. And then diagonally across at the top right, there is business, which is business operator. And then one below it, the last quadrant, the bottom right, is investor. So many people never get to experience the business owner or the investor quadrant because they're self-employed, let alone employed, right? Like, most of us are just self-employed. Most of you guys are self-employed. And the idea is that you need to move into that business owner role every single day, and then also into the investor role. You can start to do that with the way you pay yourself. Profit First is one of those that takes multiple times to read through to really get right. But the more you don't just listen to it for entertainment, because it is entertaining, and the more you listen to it to actually implement, the more you're going to be setting yourself and your business aside as one of those few examples in reality of businesses that are making a profit, where you as the owner experience profits, and maybe you even have partners who get to experience that, or employees who get to experience in on that as well. Book number 3 that you have to check out is Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. Have fun spelling that. Number 4, this is entertainment and a little bit financial, and it builds off of Profit First, maybe in a better storytelling form, is The Richest Man in Babylon. This one is one that you have to experience. I can't speak highly enough of the audiobook. I'm also a big fan of audiobooks. I'll listen to them when I'm doing my steps, when I'm doing mindless things around the house, like yard work or the dishes or something like that, where I don't need my ears to do it successfully. I'll listen to it when I'm working out, getting my steps, and doing those long drives. I don't do many of them, but long drives, audiobooks are the way to go. The Richest Man in Babylon. This is in Profit First. There's the idea of, like, you do the profit first, and then you subtract everything else from the leftover. It's a way of operating your business. Richest Man in Babylon is kind of like that. One of the many lessons inside of there is giving yourself 1/10 of everything that comes through. So giving yourself 10 pennies of every dollar. And it tracks this gentleman who is the richest man in Babylon, who does his travels around town, and he kind of revisits towns after they've internalized his lessons, and he gives them the next one. This is a super entertaining book. It's in story form, and it's one that you have to check out. Book number 4 is The Richest Man in Babylon. If I have made a book recommendation to this point that you have either not read yet or not heard of yet, then you got to screenshot this and post it to your story, share it out with your audience, and tag me at WhatUpJeremy. I'd love to reshare your post to my audience, to my followers, and would love to pick your brain on maybe what book you think I should recommend, or what made your list that didn't make mine. Be sure to just screenshot, tag me at WhatUpJeremy, post it to Instagram or Facebook, and would love to repost it and give you some love as well. The last book that you absolutely have to check out, that you have to read. There were a lot of books I could have put here There were a lot of different things that I considered, and there were really two that I had vying for this last spot. But because of how much we've talked about it in these last couple episodes and over these last 60 episodes of the show, I have to do an honorable mention. I have to plug in at the fifth spot is reality transurfing. If you are or have at all in the past learned about or given the law of attraction a chance and you want to go deeper in it, you're looking for a fresh perspective, you're looking for something far less surface level than something like The Secret or even Think and Grow Rich, and you want the specific step by step on what to do, on how to manage and control your emotions, your energies in this third dimension, you absolutely have to check out Reality Transurfing. This is not for you if you're just looking for a book to check out. This is a 700-page thick old bitch that is only for you if you are super interested in the quantum physics and the quantum mechanics of the law of attraction. You want to integrate it into your life deeper. There were a lot of books that I wanted to put here that I just could not, when I think about how much we've talked about reality transurfing and we've talked about the ideas and some of the concepts that are in there with the beach ball and in how you manage your energy and how you just go about things once you visualize them. And because we've been talking about this so largely, like, yeah, we're recording this on Monday, the 26th. This episode will not go live until the 7th of August. But today on the podcast, the episode that went live on the here in the 26th was the Are You Visualizing Success that we've talked about over these last couple days. And so I just had to give this plug. The one that it was really up against is the classic. It's here on my desk as well, as is $100 million offers and reality transurfing. It's the 7 steps of highly effective people. So I lied to you. There are 6 books in this that will change your life and your business. I want to know from you, what book did I not mention that you think I must absolutely check out? Be sure to send me a DM over on Instagram at WhatUpJeremy and let me know what books maybe made your list that didn't make mine or what books that I need to check out. In the next episode, we're going to get back to the strategies and get back to the online marketing concepts and the marketing component of your online coaching business. There are a lot of coaches, me included, who will tell you to do things like send me this word. And some of you are hesitant to do it because you might not understand it or you think it doesn't work. And so I want to talk about this concept and open it up a little bit and unpack it and share with you why it works so well and why you need to be doing it or be doing more of it if you want to get more leads and get more clients for your online business. So be sure to come back to tomorrow's episode so that you can hear more about that strategy, how it works, and understand a bit more of the intricacies that go into it. Whenever you are ready, here are a few ways I can help you grow your online business. First, get your free copy of GetBookedCRM. Coaches, are you still managing your leads and pipeline from Instagram DM, Facebook Messenger, and your email inbox? Well, you're losing a lot of leads in the cracks and you're leaving a lot of money on the table. That's why I created GetBookedCRM. And right now, at the time of this recording, it's 100% free. To get your copy and to download your free copy of GetBookedCRM, all you have to do is find me on Instagram or wherever you're listening to this podcast and drop me the letters CRM. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got 900 coaches and counting. This is where you can. My free community has 900 coaches and I can't talk. My free group has hundreds. I'm going to start that again. Second, join my free group for online coaches. I've got almost 1,000 coaches from all over the world. They're just a step ahead from where you're at right now, at the exact same step that you're at, or a small baby step or two behind where you're at right now. This is where you can get shoulder to shoulder with them, with me, and get access to weekly trainings and resources I find that help me grow my online business. There's more strategies, free trainings, and lessons that you can learn to implement to get clients this week. To get your free invitation to join the Leverage Coach community, all you have to do is message me the word group over on Instagram. Lastly, become my next success story. I'm getting a couple coaches together this month to implement my strategies and frameworks for injecting a minimum of $15K worth of new clients into your online business or doubling your online client roster base over the next 30, 60, 90 days. But finding the right people is important to me, so only respond to this if you are a relationship-focused coach who always puts the person ahead of the money. You've been coaching for at least 1 year or you're not brand new to online coaching. You'd like to get 3 to 5 clients organically every month from social media without wasting money on paid ads. You have at least 300 friends on a social platform, email list, or group. You are willing to take bold action because you know that your success depends upon it. And last but most important, you can keep a secret. If that's you, I want you to tap on that. If that's you, I want you to grab your phone right now, tap that Instagram icon, find me at WhatUpJeremy, and send me the words case study. When you do that, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about your online business, about your vision and your journey. And then I can share with you what we have coming up this month in the Get Clients program, how we're already helping students with this over in the program, like Juan Alvarado, like Juan A, who set up to have a 65K month over in August, or Henry, who joined the Get Clients program and got 8K worth of clients in his first 30 days. And we'll also identify what part of the program will likely have the highest impact the soonest in your online business so that you know what to expect. Again, all you have to do is find me over on Instagram and send me the words case study for all the details now. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Client by Client. See you back in the next one. Cheers. Olga, what's up? Appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Responded to you over on Instagram, by the way. Thanks so much for the message. I appreciate you. Great seeing you here. We'll be back tomorrow, episode 61, getting back into the strategy. So tune in tomorrow for that. And then new episode just went live on the podcast today. So be sure to search Client by Client or What Up Jeremy in Spotify, in Apple Podcasts. That way you can get it. And be sure to drop me a honest rating and review as those come through. I like to read them out and to shout you and your business out. So it's a chance to get some exposure and to also help the algorithm to help me reach more coaches, which selfishly means a lot to me and hopefully help some others as well. All right, team, that's it for me. I'm back into the daily grind. Thought I'd knock this out. Hope your Monday's going well. Cheers.